Good afternoon. I'm Mark Allen with Gaber.io, and I'm here today with Leo Liu, the VP of FinTech Partnerships and Investments at BNY Mellon. Good afternoon, Leo. How you doing?
Hey, Mark, I'm good. Glad to be on.
Glad to have you on today. So that's a very long title. What do you do for BNY Mellon?
It is indeed. So the name of our team is actually Digital Partnerships. And the reason why is because the team primarily functions on helping the different lines of businesses across the firm, working enterprise-wide on facilitating strategic partnerships with companies. And we sit under the digital department of the company. So this was a newly designed group that's focused on digital transformation, about first process automation and that sort, but then also client experience and then new product development. So a lot there, and all part of what BNY Mellon as a bank, as an institutional bank, is doing on behalf of basically digitizing the bank itself.
Interesting. And just out of curiosity, are you on the IT side of the fence or are you on the business side of the fence? I can see you going either way.
Yeah. So definitely innovation teams can sit on either side. For us, we sit on the business side. And this is helping the different lines of businesses in structuring those opportunities. So serving as an advisory function.
So can you tell us a little little background of yourself? Like, when did you start right out of college at BNY Mellon, or have you had other roles in other companies in the past?
My background is that I did start at BNY Mellon originally. So I went to college at NYU where I studied finance, and coming out of school, I first started at the bank in what's called the rotational program. So I was able to spend 1 year working across 3 different groups within a line of business called asset servicing, which its core focus areas are around custody, so safekeeping of money for different financial institutions, and then other back-end processes that we do on behalf of these other firms, including investment management firms, hedge funds, and then also asset owners such as endowments. And then moving on from there, I spent around 1.5 years within the asset servicing line of business on a team that was account management team, and then transitioned into the current team I'm in right now, where I've been for almost 2 years.
Very interesting. And having some familiarity with the financial industry, I know BNY Mellon is not your typical bank. So can you explain what differentiates BNY Mellon from, let's say, a Bank of America?
That's a really great point. BNY Mellon is an institutional bank. So what that means is it's really a bank for other financial institutions. There aren't any retail branches where anyone can go deposit money, get a loan. It's more about what services can this company, BNY, provide to our enterprise customers. And that also feeds into the focus of what we do on our team in working with different fintechs. So essentially, we focus on enterprise fintechs. They are companies that can help out with whatever we provide to clients.
And when you say enterprise fintechs, the fintechs you deal with themselves are large enterprises, or do they service large enterprises?
They can actually range in size. So generally, it's very focused on external technology companies, and it can actually range. So going from, let's say, one example of a partner company, actually within our clearance and collateral management business of partnering with different large cloud providers, all the way to different emerging technology companies. So these are more of the startups where the value of the partnerships is often that they bring in this new technology, for example, such as within AI, and then BNY Mellon brings that distribution network. So to establish client franchise, so that way both parties can join forces in offering the value to clients.
And you both refer these fintechs and fund some of them, or is it mainly just a referral?
It is both. So in terms of partnership models themselves, it can also just really range from, let's say, as with the referral agreement, those are more around channel partnerships where BNY Mellon acts as really that point of contact for those fintechs to then service our clients, But then it can also be something such as integration, connecting into our systems, our different platforms, such as the different marketplaces available.
Mm.
And then lastly, it's what other engagements that can connect BNY Mellon
Mm.
with those different startups. And that includes the principal investments. So investing in equity in select companies.
Interesting. Now I understand why your title is so long. So, um, so interesting. You're in the financial industry, and the financial industry has always been slow to adopt new ideas. And one of them, what's going on now, is remote work. So, were you someone that actually went into the office 9 to 5 every day, did the commute, and now all of a sudden COVID hit and you're you're working from home?
That is indeed the case. And it was actually a different changing pace given that I've been in different groups before. So my previous team, immediate team, because they were account managers and a lot of them were traveling, there was definitely a lot of that remote work a few times a week. And then the current team I'm on, because we're so connected with the businesses, there have been a lot of instances where it is necessary to be in a room, whether it be strategizing with the business or meeting with these different companies. And that face-to-face part is really important. So when COVID hit, that did change a lot of things, and that's been an adjustment. So taking a lot of those meetings, even negotiations online instead of in person, uh, some things that normally happen online or in person, moving them online. But then there's also different areas such as international collaboration. So
Mhm.
speaking with some teams from Europe and Asia, which we have done before, and now it's just continued. And I feel like it's actually been a little bit easier because everyone's online right now. So it is easier to get a hold of some people.
Mhm. But like from the investment side, I mean, that's got to be tough if you're investing in a company and you've never really met the executives. Is that has that been a an adjustment for you, or is that was that hard to get used to at first, or have you actually done any investments since COVID?
Indeed, yes. So that is something that has been a major change. But I think generally from the VC perspective, it's just something that has to be done. So no way working around it, just a matter of adapting.
Mm. Well, and that brings up, the obvious next question is, eventually stay in place will be lifted. I'm hoping, I'm assuming it will be. Do you think you'll go back to the old ways, or do you think you kind of like this new way and you'll stick with it?
Definitely there will be some changes. I think it's one realization that there are some things that might have traditionally been thought about to have only been able to do in the office
Mhm.
that can be done remotely. And so that changes something. So potentially a team that might be completely based in person, maybe there's added flexibility to work remotely, maybe 1 or 2 days a week, and that sort.
Hmm. Yeah, very interesting. So, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm assuming BNY Mellon has a large building in Manhattan. Is that correct?
That is right. So we have a lot of physical space, and what's actually been important is a matter of just keeping up with resiliency and also security, even despite the remote work environment. So that's something where it's actually been a pretty massive undertaking by a lot of the operational staff who are typically always based in person to be able to still handle these different transactions for clients, do the reporting, and do everything in that safe and compliant manner. So it has just been a really great accomplishment in my opinion.
Hmm. And I know I know you're not in the same time zone as New York right now. So how has that adjustment been for you? I mean, I assume you have to get up a little bit earlier in the morning now and all that stuff. And because as you know, you can be, as long as you're dealing basically with Zoom, you can be anywhere in the world, right?
That is very true. That does give that added flexibility.
Mm. Yeah, and so how are you enjoying that so far?
I I actually think that there aren't too many changes,
Hmm.
given that all interactions are essentially virtual right now. It's regardless of where you are,
Hmm.
it's roughly the same.
Yeah, no, I agree. I personally prefer it. I don't know about you, although, and you and I both are from big cities. So I'm San Francisco, you're New York, with a lot of traffic. I think that's one thing I definitely don't miss. How about yourself?
Right, I would say the same. So one thing that I'll echo from another VC's perspective is, especially with a lot of volumes of meetings now, it's actually a bit easier to have these back-to-back meetings, given
Mhm.
that there is no need for the travel time.
Right.
So going from one location to another, let's say in New York City, taking the subway, that definitely takes a lot of time
Mhm.
that could be spent in having some other conversations. So that has been an unexpected benefit.
Mhm. Yeah, no, I agree. And actually, to me, the biggest benefit has been the lack of traffic, and especially in the Bay Area. It's been night and day since COVID hit. So that part I hope stays. But we'll see. Time will tell. So, well, Leo, I want to thank you for your time today. I'll let you get back to work. I know you have a lot to do, and good luck with in the future with BNY Mellon.
Great, glad to be on.
Thanks.